Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is a cage. They think it is a punishment. They think it is something heavy, something restrictive, something that steals joy from life and replaces it with rules. And because they carry this belief, they resist discipline for years, sometimes for decades, sometimes for their entire lives. They chase what feels like freedom, only to find themselves trapped in the exact places they were trying to escape. Think about that. The person who avoids discipline is not free. They are ruled by moods, ruled by cravings, ruled by impulses, ruled by whatever voice inside them speaks loudest in the moment. They believe they are choosing freely, but they are only obeying whichever appetite is currently in charge. And that is not freedom. That is quiet slavery, dressed up as choice. Real freedom looks very different. Real freedom is being able to do what you know you should do when you know you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Real freedom is not the absence of structure. It is the presence of self-control. Real freedom is the power to choose your future over your feelings, your standards over your impulses, your direction over your distractions. That kind of freedom is not free. It is built. It is built by discipline. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the moment you understand that discipline is not the enemy of freedom, but the foundation of it, your entire relationship with your life will begin to change. Now understand something important. There are two kinds of pain in this world. There is the pain of discipline, and there is the pain of regret. Both are heavy, but they are not the same weight. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, and it is paid daily. The pain of regret weighs tons, and it is paid for the rest of your life. Most people avoid the pain of discipline because it feels sharp in the moment. It shows up in the morning when the alarm rings. It shows up when the workout gets hard. It shows up when the work is dull and the reward is far. It stings in small ways, over and over. And because it stings, most people run from it. But the pain of regret does not sting. It aches. It sits in the quiet hours of the night, asking questions you cannot silence. What if I had trained? What if I had studied? What if I had built the habit? What if I had honored my word to myself? Those questions do not fade. They grow louder with every passing year. And they only visit the people who chose comfort over discipline again and again until the years ran out. Think about that. Discipline hurts a little now. Regret hurts a lot forever. And every day you are choosing between the two, whether you realize it or not. Now think about this. The people who look free from the outside, the healthy, the wealthy, the peaceful, the accomplished, are almost never the ones who avoided discipline. They are the ones who welcomed it. They are the ones who trained their body when it wanted rest. They are the ones who trained their mind when it wanted distraction. They are the ones who trained their money when it wanted to disappear. They are the ones who trained their time when it wanted to slip away. They paid the price of discipline early. Now they walk in the freedom it purchased. The freedom to move without pain in their body. The freedom to sleep without worry in their mind. The freedom to choose their days without begging their circumstances. The freedom to say yes to what matters and no to what does not. That is not luck. That is the harvest of a life quietly disciplined for years while others looked for shortcuts. Now let me ask you something. Have you noticed that the person with no discipline is always the person with the least freedom? The person who does not discipline their body is a prisoner of pain. The person who does not discipline their finances is a prisoner of bills. The person who does not discipline their mind is a prisoner of anxiety. The person who does not discipline their attention is a prisoner of noise. The person who does not discipline their words is a prisoner of the consequences of speaking without thought. You cannot escape one of these prisons by rejecting discipline. You can only escape by embracing it. Because discipline is not the thing that locks the door. Discipline is the thing that hands you the key. Now understand something important. Discipline is not built through hatred of yourself. It is built through love of your future. This is where most people get it wrong. They try to force themselves into discipline through shame, through anger, through disgust with who they have been, and it does not last. It cannot last. A discipline rooted in self-hatred always collapses because you cannot punish yourself into a better life. But you can love yourself into one. The discipline that endures is the discipline that comes from a quiet, patient love for the person you are becoming. It is the discipline that says, I care about you enough to make you get up. I care about you enough to make you keep your promise. I care about you enough to make you do the hard thing today because I believe in the life waiting for you on the other side. That is not punishment. That is the highest form of self-respect. And the moment discipline becomes an act of self-respect instead of an act of self-punishment, it stops feeling like a cage and starts feeling like a gift. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the discipline that lasts a lifetime is the discipline that grows from love, not from shame. Now think about this. The undisciplined life is exhausting. It looks free from the outside, but it is one of the most tiring ways to live. Every morning is a negotiation. Every task is a debate. Every promise to yourself is a maybe. And your mind is constantly working, constantly calculating, constantly bargaining with itself about whether to do the thing you already know you should do. That constant negotiation is a hidden tax on your energy. You do not realize how heavy it is until it is gone. The disciplined person is not always working harder than the undisciplined person. Often, they are working less because they have stopped arguing with themselves. The decision has already been made. The workout is not a debate. The morning is not a debate. The work is not a debate. The habit is not a debate. It is simply what they do because it is who they are. And a person who has stopped debating their own life has more energy than a person who is negotiating every hour of it. That is what discipline gives you. Peace inside your own head. And peace inside your own head is one of the greatest freedoms a human being can own. Now understand something important. Discipline does not begin in the body. It begins in the mind. Before you can discipline your actions, you must discipline your thoughts. Because every action starts as a thought. A thought becomes a decision. A decision becomes an action. An action becomes a habit. A habit becomes a life. If you want to change the life, you must go back up the chain. You must change the habit. To change the habit, you must change the action. To change the action, you must change the decision. To change the decision, you must change the thought. And the discipline of the mind is where the whole structure begins. A disciplined mind does not entertain excuses for long. A disciplined mind does not rehearse defeat. A disciplined mind does not negotiate away its own future. A disciplined mind holds the line when the feelings shift, when the mood drops, when the situation is inconvenient. And that inner steadiness is where every outer discipline is born. Now let me ask you something. What are you allowing your mind to rehearse? Because your mind is rehearsing something all day long. It is rehearsing hope, or it is rehearsing worry. It is rehearsing progress, or it is rehearsing complaint. It is rehearsing possibility, or it is rehearsing limitation. And whatever your mind rehearses long enough will eventually become the script of your life. Discipline of the mind is not about ignoring problems. It is about refusing to let the mind live inside them. You choose what your mind lingers on. You choose what your mind returns to. You choose what your mind builds a home in. That is a discipline. And it is one of the most freeing disciplines you will ever practice. Now think about this. The world will not respect an undisciplined life for long. It may indulge it for a season. It may excuse it for a while. But eventually the bills come. The body speaks. The relationships shift. The opportunities pass. And the person who refused to discipline themselves finds that the world has quietly stopped waiting for them. This is not cruelty. This is order. Life responds to discipline the way soil responds to sunlight. Consistent presence produces growth. Consistent absence produces decay. And no amount of complaint changes the equation. You can be angry at the harvest, but the harvest only answers to what was planted. So plant discipline. Plant it in your mornings. Plant it in your work. Plant it in your health. Plant it in your relationships. Plant it in your money. Plant it in your speech. Plant it in your quiet, unwatched hours when no one is around to hold you accountable. Because the discipline of the private hour becomes the freedom of the public life. Now understand something important. Every discipline you build in one area of your life strengthens every other area. This is one of the great secrets of a disciplined life. You do not compartmentalize character. When you become disciplined in one place, you become slightly stronger in every place. When you show up faithfully in one habit, you become more likely to show up faithfully in every habit. Discipline is a whole life skill, and undiscipline is a whole life leak. The person who cannot keep a promise about their morning will eventually struggle to keep a promise about their work. The person who cannot control their mouth will eventually struggle to control their money. The person who cannot control their appetite will eventually struggle to control their attention. The threads are all connected. Pull one, and the others move with it. That is why one disciplined habit can begin to change everything. Not because that one habit is magical, but because it teaches your mind a new identity. It teaches your mind that you are a person who keeps their word. And once your mind believes that about you, every other discipline becomes easier to build. Now think about this. The disciplined person is not a joyless person. This is a lie the undisciplined life tells itself to feel better. The truly disciplined person often has more joy, not less. They have the joy of self-respect, the joy of physical strength, the joy of financial peace, the joy of accomplished work, the joy of promises kept, the joy of a mind they trust, the joy of a body they trust, the joy of a life that is theirs, not their impulses. That is not a small joy. That is a deep, quiet, unshakable joy, and it belongs only to those who paid the price for it. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the joy of a disciplined life is one of the most underrated rewards in the entire human experience. Now let me speak to a truth most people avoid. Discipline is not glamorous. It is often invisible. It happens when no one is looking. It happens in the small hours of the morning when the world is silent. It happens in the middle of the workday when no applause is coming. It happens in the late evenings when the reward is a long way off and the sofa is right beside you. It happens in the private choice to keep going when quitting would be perfectly understandable. No one is going to celebrate that moment. No one is going to notice. But that moment is where your life is being built. The unseen discipline is the seen success. The private consistency is the public confidence. The quiet work is the loud result. The world only sees the harvest. It does not see the years of soil, and it does not need to. You are not disciplined for their applause. You are disciplined because you have made a decision about the kind of person you are becoming. Now understand something important. Discipline is not motivation. Do not confuse the two. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Motivation depends on your mood. Discipline is independent of your mood. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is trustworthy. And any life built on motivation will collapse the moment the feeling fades, which it always will. If you wait to feel motivated, you will build very little. If you decide to be disciplined, you will build almost anything. That is why the disciplined person becomes so quietly powerful over time. They do not need the world to inspire them. They do not need conditions to be right. They do not need a good mood or a good morning or a good season. They have made their decision, and the decision carries them through the days that would break someone who is only relying on feelings. That is freedom. The freedom of a person who is no longer at the mercy of how they feel. Now think about this. There is a version of you that already lives with this kind of discipline. That version wakes up early without argument. That version trains without complaint. That version works without distraction. That version keeps small promises without needing anyone to watch. That version is not distant. That version is not for someone else. That version is inside you right now, waiting for you to stop treating discipline like a punishment and start treating it like a gift. You are not building a stranger. You are building yourself. The disciplined life is not a life imposed on you from outside. It is a life released from inside. It is the removal of everything that has been holding your best self hostage. And every act of discipline is another key turning in the lock, another door opening, another part of you becoming free. Now, let me say this clearly. The people who resist discipline the loudest are usually the people who need it the most. And the people who welcome discipline the deepest are usually the people who have already tasted its rewards. Once you have felt the freedom that discipline creates, you cannot go back to calling it a punishment. You know what it really is. You know what it really gives. You know what it really protects. It protects your future from your present. It protects your goals from your moods. It protects your peace from your impulses. It protects your dignity from your distractions. And it protects the version of you that is coming from the version of you that is comfortable staying where you are. Now, understand this final truth. The disciplined life is not the difficult life. It is the free life. It is the life that costs you up front but pays you back for the rest of your years. It is the life that trades short-term comfort for long-term ease. It is the life that says, I will pay the small daily price so that I do not pay the enormous lifelong one. That is not punishment. That is wisdom. And wisdom, applied daily, becomes freedom. Now think about what you have been calling a burden. The morning discipline you have been resisting. The work discipline you have been avoiding. The health discipline you have been postponing. The financial discipline you have been ignoring. The mental discipline you have been outrunning. Look at each of them again with new eyes. Each one is not a chain. Each one is a key. You have been standing outside the door of your own freedom, calling the key await. Pick it up, turn it in the lock, walk through, because the life you want is on the other side of the disciplines you have been avoiding, and no one is going to open that door for you. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And the discipline you build today is the freedom you will walk in tomorrow. So begin. Begin small. Begin quiet. Begin without applause. Begin by keeping one small promise to yourself, and then another, until keeping promises to yourself becomes so ordinary that it stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like who you are. That is the transformation. That is the escape from the illusion. That is the moment discipline stops looking like a cage and starts feeling like the widest sky you have ever walked under. Master your mind, master your habits, master your future, and keep moving forward no matter what.